Long before humanity believed itself to be the master of Earth, there were moments when the planet answered back. Moments when nature reminded its smallest rulers that dominance is temporary, and power borrowed from machines can never replace power forged by time. This is the story of one such moment, when the greatest forces the world had ever known collided across land and sea, and the illusion of human control shattered. The world was already wounded. Coastlines were scarred by retreating waters. Forests stood broken, burned, and silent. Oceans carried echoes of something massive moving beneath the surface. Humanity had pushed too far, awakened forces it could no longer command, and now stood trembling at the edge of its own ambition. From the depths of the ocean rose Godzilla, not as a monster, not as a weapon, but as a living consequence. His body carried the memory of Earth itself, pressure, radiation, fire, and time compressed into flesh and bone. Each step through the sea displaced millions of tons of water. Each breath carried heat older than civilization. Godzilla did not hunt, he advanced. The ocean parted around him, waves crashing into cities long before he arrived. On land, something else moved. Kong emerged from the jungle, towering above ruined trees and shattered rock. He was not born of radiation or machines, but of survival. Muscle shaped by gravity, intelligence sharpened by isolation. Kong had watched humanity from a distance for generations, strange, loud, fragile creatures that multiplied and burned everything they touched. He did not seek them, but he would not run from them. Humanity had prepared for war. Special forces units assembled along coastlines, in cities, and across fortified terrain. Aircraft carriers cut through the ocean. Fighter jets screamed through the sky. Tanks lined shattered roads. Missiles were armed. Satellites locked onto moving targets too large to ignore. This was not fear anymore. This was desperation. They believed numbers could replace dominance. Godzilla reached the shore first. The sea erupted as his full weight collided with land. Concrete cracked like dry earth. Buildings collapsed under shock waves alone. The special forces opened fire immediately. Missiles struck his armored hide, exploding in bursts of flame and smoke. Machine gun fire rattled uselessly against scales that had survived extinction events. Godzilla did not slow. His dorsal plates ignited, glowing like molten stone. The air vibrated. Then the heat came. A beam of atomic energy tore across the battlefield, vaporizing tanks, aircraft, and soldiers in seconds. The land burned, reshaped instantly into glass and fire. Humanity's greatest weapons vanished as if they had never existed. Yet humanity pressed on. From the sky came coordinated strikes, from the sea torpedoes, from the land artillery. The world shook under the noise of its own resistance. For a brief moment it seemed possible, not victory, but delay. Then Kong arrived. He did not announce himself with fire. He announced himself with impact. Trees snapped, earth collapsed beneath his weight. He charged into the battlefield not as an ally to Godzilla, but as a force reacting to threat. Helicopters circled him, firing relentlessly. Missiles struck his shoulders and chest, tearing flesh, drawing blood. Kong roared. It was not rage alone, it was recognition. Humanity was no longer observing, it was attacking. And Kong understood something humans had forgotten. Survival is not negotiated. He ripped a tank from the ground and hurled it into the air, crushing aircraft in mid-flight. He used terrain as weapon, smashing buildings to create cover, tearing steel like bark.
His intelligence made him more dangerous than any machine. He adapted instantly. Godzilla turned. For the first time, the two titans saw each other clearly. Not enemies, not allies, equals. Two forces shaped by different paths of Earth's history, standing within the same battlefield created by human fear. The special forces panicked. What was once a controlled operation collapsed into chaos. Orders were drowned by explosions. Communication failed. The battlefield was no longer human territory. It belonged to the Titans. Godzilla advanced inland, driving Kong toward the city. Kong resisted, not wanting the fight near confined terrain. Their clash was inevitable. Muscle met atomic force. The shockwave flattened entire districts. Buildings fell like sandcastles. The air filled with ash, fire, and debris. Human weapons became meaningless. Jets fell from the sky, caught between titans. Ships capsized as waves slammed into shore. Soldiers ran, hid, vanished. The battlefield consumed itself. Yet something unexpected happened. Godzilla did not focus on Kong. His attention returned repeatedly to the machines, the ships, the aircraft, to the noise, to the radiation signatures, to the disturbance in Earth's balance. Kong noticed. Godzilla was not here to conquer. He was here to correct. Humanity was the target. Kong hesitated. He had fought monsters before, but humans were different, fragile, loud, dangerous in numbers. Watching them die beneath Godzilla's advance stirred something ancient in him. Not compassion, but memory. The forest destroyed, the land burned, the imbalance. The choice was made not in thought, but in instinct. Kong turned with Godzilla. The battlefield shifted instantly. Two titans now moved with the same purpose, not as partners, but as forces aligned by threat. Kong targeted ground units. Godzilla annihilated naval and aerial forces. The land and sea became a single theater of destruction. Special forces collapsed completely. Humanity's final weapons were deployed, experimental strikes designed to overwhelm both titans. The explosions were massive. The sky burned white. For a moment, silence followed. Then movement. Godzilla rose through the smoke, scarred but unbroken. Kong pulled himself from rubble, bleeding, furious, alive. The illusion shattered. There was no weapon capable of stopping them without destroying the planet itself. Humanity retreated. Ships withdrew. Aircraft fled. The battlefield was abandoned. Cities burned in silence. The Titans stood among ruins not as victors, but as survivors of a war that should never have been fought. Godzilla returned to the sea. Each step into the water calmed the burning land behind him. Waves closed around his body. The ocean reclaimed its guardian. Kong watched from the ruins. He did not follow. The land was still his responsibility. He turned back toward the forest, carrying scars, memory, and warning. Humanity had tested the limits of power and found them. The world did not end that day, but something else did. The belief that Earth belonged to humans alone. Because long before weapons, armies, and names like special forces existed, the planet already had its defenders, and they were still watching.